Yo, yo, what is going on, my fellow wrestling fans? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of the Champions, where we talk about the different personalities, controversy, storylines, and everything in between that center around this world we know and love as professional wrestling. I'm your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the Flesh, as always, coming to you from my new home of New Brunswick, New Jersey. And my co-host needs no introduction, but fuck it, he's gonna give y'all one anyway.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is his tag team partner, Jonathan Randall, the adventurer at your guys' service. The last time we talked to you, we were in the month of August, and we're now finally in the month of September. It is not exactly fall time, but hey, it's on the horizon. I'm excited as always. Football season just started, and it's our special recap episode of the premium live events, and it's a recap of Bash in Berlin that took place this past Saturday in Berlin, Germany.
Yes, Bash in Berlin did take place last Saturday. Berlin, Germany started early as hell at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so obviously I missed it watching live. But I did go back and watch it a couple hours later after my day was over, and
I watched it live.
that's what's up. I'll say it was a good show, but overall it was very predictable, and many people are kind of calling it a house show with a bigger budget.
True, nice venue, nice crowd. I love the entrance for this event. I mean, it was predictable, but I think there was a couple of matches that still, really, caught my eye and that still really showed out and produce, and which we'll get into later.
Yeah, but overall, I'll say like the best way I could compare Bash in Berlin is a little bit better than those Insurrection and Rebellion UK shows they used to do
Mm.
back in the day. It was kind of a little better than that, but
Mm.
like I said, like the show after watching it, it wasn't really a show I would go out of my way to watch multiple times.
I think there was one match that I saw that I'm like, you know what, I would kind of, would like to rewatch again.
So with that being said, let's get into kind of what happened in Bash in Berlin. Let's run down everything that took place. So in the opening match for the WWE Championship, we had Cody Rhodes defending against Kevin Owens.
This was an interesting match. It was a pretty good match, and we all found out that this is going to be the opening match. I think was earlier that day, but this match went on around 20 minutes. And one of the things I love about this match is how it started off a little bit slow. They mat wrestled for a little bit, and they picked it up. Longer the match went on, they picked it up. They pick up the pace, and I love those kind of matches. But this was, you know, pretty good match, and it looked like Kevin Owens mostly had the offense momentum, early on in this match.
Yes, he did have the momentum. The match was pretty solid. It did go on for a while, but then there was one point where Cody attempted to climb the top rope, but then he aggravated his knee when he tried to climb the top rope. And that would play
Mm,
into what happened on the night before on SmackDown during the promo where Kevin Owens referenced the fact that Cody's knee was hurt, but he wasn't letting people on to the fact that it was hurt. So then once this happened in the match, you kind of thought that Kevin Owens would take advantage of this. And even outside the ring, as Cody was trying to clutch his knee, Kevin Owens actually did kick him down. And Kevin Owens even had the opportunity to put Cody through the announce table, but for whatever reason, he didn't take advantage of it. He hesitated, and
right.
then
Yeah.
it was that move that in many ways cost him the match. As it went on for a few more minutes, Owens attempted to do a swanton from the top rope, but Cody did get his knees up, and that would allow Cody to hit Kevin Owens with a crossroads and finish Kevin Owens off predictably so and retain his title.
Yeah, man. That was pretty much a turning point in that match because Kevin Owens had multiple times to, take advantage and win the match, but he hesitated and he wasn't being, fully aggressive in taking the advantage of the moment. I understand that, out of respect wise, for Cody and his knee, but at the same time, it is a WWE title match, and it kind of backfired on him. But overall, it was a pretty good match. But I was kind of expecting. I think we both expected that Kevin Owens was going to turn heel right after this match, but he didn't. They did shake hands and they hugged, and I thought, okay, this is going to be that moment. But no, they not that day. Maybe later on, but they shook hands and they hugged it out in the end.
Yeah, I kind of expected him to turn there, but it's looking like they're kind of stretch it out a little longer. I think I have an idea of when it will happen, though. I think I have a very good idea of when it will happen.
Hmm.
I think it's going to happen next Friday on SmackDown because it's going to be their first episode back on USA. And I think
Ah.
Cody is going to have a title match against Solo because Solo challenged the winner of the match. So I think that match is going to
Hmm.
take place there. And then we're going to see Roman return. And we're also going to see Kevin Owens turn on Cody on that night.
Ooh. I love to see it. I love to see it. And that reminds me because today, Friday, right? Today is the last episode of SmackDown. Well, they will be on Fox before they move to USA.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I know. Oh man. Yeah, we're all happy, man. That's fun.
Yeah, all the blacked out screens, all the taking the sound out when people are chanting the curse word, all the times the show's been preempted because of a football game or a baseball game or whatever, all those days are finally over.
Oh, yes, it is, man. We could have some normalcy now. But yeah, last episode on Fox. So tune in for that. I'll definitely be tuning into that. So on to our next match. We had a tag team match for the women's tag team championship, and that was between Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill versus the Unholy Union.
Yes, and you had predicted that Isla Dawn and Alba Fire were going to retain, and that was going to start the split between Bianca and Jade. And I predicted the opposite. I thought Bianca and Jade
Mm.
would regain the titles, and I ended up being right. As Jade and Bianca hit the DDT, turned into the German suplex to finish both of them off and regain the tag team titles. Solid match. The match was fine for what it was, but ultimately, I did not expect Jade and Bianca to lose again. They regained the titles. Now they could be on both shows again. They will still split up. I definitely see that happening, but it's still gonna be a while until we start to see the cracks in that relationship. So for now, everything is all good.
Maybe they'll split up probably like going into next year, early in the next year, maybe.
Mania season, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match is fine for what it was. It accomplished what it needed to. Bianca and Jade have the belts back. They had the cool outfits, and people are even saying that Jade Cargill has the best hot tag in wrestling right now.
Okay. Yeah, and well, you know what? And then look, I'm not against them winning the titles. I'm happy for them. I mean, you got to remember, this is their first match at a premium live event in how long? What, a couple months?
3 months. 3 months.
3 months, yeah. So, hey, it's not yet. I mean, I was just, you know, observing, like, okay, maybe it's possible it could happen. Like you said, it will still happen, but now it's not the right time.
No, it's not. So they're going to keep the titles a little longer. The belts look great on them, so I have no complaints. And yeah, they complement each other well. But just be wary if you're at the press conferences not to ask Jade Cargill any more questions about AEW.
Oh, there was somebody who was asking her about that and she got annoyed.
Yeah, she just said basically says like she's sick of answering questions about AEW. I appreciate my time there, but I'm not there anymore. I'm here now, so just
Mm,
can we please talk about my time here? I get it.
okay.
I mean, she has been
Yeah.
in WWE for almost a year now. I mean, total since she signed with them, so I
Yeah.
understand it. But yes, they regained the titles, and I'm looking forward to seeing who the next challengers are going to be. For as thin and uneventful as that tag division is, other than those two.
Yeah, just it's good that they'll be on both shows, and hopefully that they could stay consistent with being on a card on a premium live event. So we'll see what happens moving forward.
Yeah, and they did have an incident on Raw Monday when they were out at ringside watching the match between Alba Fire and Isla Dawn and also Damage Control. And Kairi Zane attempted the top rope elbow drop onto Bianca outside the ring, but then she missed and hit the table face first.
Man,
Yeah, it was bad, man. She was bleeding all over her nose. Yeah, she's gonna be out for a minute.
wow,
Yeah, all of Damage Control is getting banged up. Yeah, Asuka's hurt. Dakota Kai's hurt. Yeah, now Kairi Zane's hurt.
jeez,
Yeah, they're all getting damaged up. Fuck, all the damage to Damage Control.
yeah, no pun intended.
All right, but we'll move on to our next match. We had a special strap match featuring CM Punk against Drew McIntyre, the man who's been parading around that little bracelet he stole from him as if it was his own and parading it around like it was like a Rolex watch.
Right. And this, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, this was my favorite match of the night. And if you guys were paying attention, CM Punk was wearing the same attire that he wore at AEW All in London last year.
Yes, and he's in much better shape now than he was then. You could definitely tell from the before and after pictures. And I think this match was definitely the better match than that match he had a year ago against Samoa Joe, and also definitely better than the match that he had with McIntyre at SummerSlam.
I agree, and this one because I love the stipulation. When you have these kind of stipulation matches, it tells better of a story. And it's no offense to their guys' last match at SummerSlam. I liked it. I like the fact how Seth Rollins was involved as a special guest referee. I do, but this one had more meaning to it, and it really told more of a story in this match. CM Punk really took a lot of more abuse and bumps and spots in this match versus his first match back at SummerSlam. I love the spot where CM Punk actually went through the table.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, they took their time with each other. They did a lot. I loved how when Drew McIntyre was, he had CM Punk on his shoulders, but he touched one corner of the turnbuckle, and then as soon as he touched it, CM Punk will touch it. And then, you were trying to fight and get that fourth, touch that fourth turnbuckle spot without getting interrupted. And it caused the suspense and the tension in that match. And I loved it. But, just overall, you knew like CM Punk needed to get a win. And I loved how he put Drew McIntyre in a sharpshooter. 4 times. It looked like, was it 4 times where CM Punk did the GTS to Drew McIntyre? 4 times?
Just about, it was about three, I think. Yeah, he did it to him 3 times as he was like dragging him to the four corners to touch them in order to win. So yeah, he ended up doing it to Drew McIntyre 3 times and then dragged his ass to the fourth corner, touched the turnbuckle, and CM Punk won his very first televised singles match in 10 years, beating his worst arch nemesis in the process.
Yes, loved it. Loved the match. My favorite match. Great match. And
And he took the bracelet back too, and he also
yeah,
took back the bracelet.
yeah, yeah, he did. Good for him. But so after the match, he was interviewed and he was talking about how like this feud is over and now he's gonna go after the gold now, go after becoming world champion. And I don't want to jump ahead too far. We'll get into that later. Because I already knew when the match was over, I knew that this feud is not over yet. Feuds really don't end with a 1-1 tie. So overall, I love the match, and yeah, this feud is not over. So we'll get into that later. Moving on.
Yeah, the match was fun. I definitely expected Punk to win because Drew McIntyre won the first match. And yeah, it delivered. The match definitely lived up to what we thought it would be. And yeah, no complaints. But we'll get into what happened between the two of them on Raw in a few minutes. And in our next match, we had the mixed tag between the Terror Twins of Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest taking on the new version of Judgment Day, WWE's new hottest couple, Dominic Mysterio and the Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan.
Well, I predicted that, I want to have more heat on Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan, though, but I was wrong, though. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley got the win. And when I look back at it, I was like, you know what? I think there was the right decision for them to get the win moving forward, what they need to do, especially with this next premium live event coming up in a month, which I cannot wait for. But yeah, they needed to get the win. But I was right. There would be interference. Judgment Day interfered, and more importantly, Finn Balor got interfered too. And I thought Finn Balor interference will cost him the match, though, but it didn't happen.
There was this one point in the match that I really liked a lot where Rhea Ripley actually put Dominic Mysterio in the leg scissors. It was kind of like reminiscent to when she did that to him before, like before Dominic joined Judgment Day. And the look on Dominic's face, like when he was trapped in that leg scissors, that shit was priceless. Dude was screaming for his life.
That was hilarious.
My chicken fingers, my chicken fingers, my chicken fingers.
Liv, help. Let's catch up. But no, the pop, though. But it was a huge pop, though, when that happened.
Yeah, and also when Dominic got clothesline 360 by Damian Priest on top of the announce table, that shit was sick.
It was.
And then the match ultimately ended with Rhea Ripley hitting Liv Morgan with the Riptide, finished her off with hands down the best pin in all of wrestling right now, and got the Terror Twins the win. Yo, seeing her pin people the way she does, yo, I will never get tired of that shit.
Nobody will. And I think there's a name for it now. It's called the pretzel pin.
I thought it was gonna be called Paradise, but never mind.
No, it was pretzel pin or something like that. Yeah.
I never wanted to be a pretzel so bad in my life.
Oh god. The one at Auntie Anne's at the mall, Kurt.
Yes, they are vegan friendly, so I could have some of those.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, like I said earlier, this was needed, and again, I predicted wrong because I thought this was, if Liv Morgan and Dominic was going to get a win, get more heat though, but no, I think Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley needed to get even after what happened to them, and that's good. But they will definitely try to even the score for the next upcoming premium live event at Bad Blood. So we'll see what's going to happen moving forward with that.
Yes, but on to the main event.
Yes.
For the World Heavyweight title, we had the close enough to hometown boy Gunther defending his world title against Randy Orton.
Yes.
And I liked how Ludwig Kaiser did the introduction for Gunther, considering that he's from Germany. Yo, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, but before that, what happened? I love the camera angle for Randy Orton's entrance when he was walking down and the lighting. I love that.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, his whole entrance was dope. He even said he was flying his wife out for that show because he wanted his wife to experience that atmosphere.
That's good for him. Good for him. But yeah, I even tweeted it on during the match. You can follow us on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, at the Champs Clash. But I loved how no offense to Samantha Irvin, I'm sorry, I love you, but at that place close to Gunther's home country, it was the right thing for Ludwig Kaiser to announce Gunther in the ring. Now I laughed and I was kind of like, oh man, poor Samantha though, but nah, you need to let him have this moment. So I'm sorry, but
she'll be fine. She still gets paid the same.
Yeah, I know, but still, but anyway, overall, it was a pretty decent match. I liked it for what it is. 34 minutes. That's how long the match was.
I would say it's more than decent from the effort they were putting in and how long it went. I would say it was definitely more than decent. Even if you knew the outcome and you weren't surprised by the outcome,
Yeah.
The match is still good. But the only thing I will say, it was probably overall better for the crowd there as opposed to us watching.
I agree. Yeah, but do you think that this match was better than their one at the King of the Ring?
In a way, yes. In a way.
Okay.
But the match ultimately ended, surprisingly, with Gunther trapping Randy Orton in a sleeper, and then Randy Orton failed to answer the 3 count, and the referee stopped the match, and Gunther retained.
Gunther's been using that headlock submission now lately. He used it that SummerSlam, and he used it now.
Yeah, I've seen him win matches with it before. That's what I like about Gunther. He wins his matches differently.
Yeah.
He'll use a top rope splash. He'll use a lariat.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me how when John Cena was champion, during his early days on Raw, and he only had the FU, but he started to use the STF. He had a submission, move to in his repertoire to end his matches. So it's kind of like the same thing what Gunther's been doing. Usually he has that power bomb move, what he does usually early on though, but now he's been using that headlock as a submission move to finish off his opponents. I love it. One thing that did surprise me though, Gunther and Randy Orton shook hands.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Randy Orton shook his hand at the end out of respect, and Gunther ended the show in celebration and retaining the title. And yeah, I figured that's the way the show would end.
Yeah.
No surprise.
Yeah.
So yes, that was Bash in Berlin. Show was fine for what it was. Like I said, it was a good show, but I wouldn't call it a classic. That's all I'll really say.
Okay. Overall, out of 10, what would you give this event?
I guess a 6, maybe 7. Yeah.
Okay. I say for me I say a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough. But yes, that was Bash in Berlin. And we had Raw the following Monday on Raw from Denver, Colorado. And CM Punk came
Mhm.
out to cut a promo talking about how he was done with Drew McIntyre and he was going to be on to bigger and better things, that being Gunther's World Heavyweight title. And he laid out the challenge to Gunther. And then as he was leaving the
CM
ring,
Gold. That's what
yes.
he was saying. Yeah.
And as he was leaving the ring, he was standing on top of the announce table, but then he was tripped onto the announce table, and the person who ended up tripping him was a person in a hoodie. And after revealing the hoodie off, that person turned out to be Drew McIntyre. Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And Drew McIntyre proceeded to lay out CM Punk with multiple Claymore kicks, and then he took the bracelet back. But he didn't just take the bracelet back this time. This time, he snapped the bracelet in half.
Damn.
The bracelet is no more. And then if that wasn't bad enough, he took all the broken pieces from the bracelet, shoved it into CM Punk's mouth like it was the mandible claw. And then as Punk was getting up, he laid him out with another Claymore kick.
Got so bad, Kurt, to the point they put CM Punk on a stretcher in the ambulance backstage.
And McIntyre attacked him again on the stretcher too.
Yeah. Wasn't done from there.
If anybody thought this feud was over from what Punk was saying in that promo, we were sadly mistaken.
Sadly mistaken. Because look, I knew. I mean, come on, like I knew CM Punk was going to win that match at Bash in Berlin. I knew that you can't. Nobody's going to leave that feud with an even score 1-1. Come on, I already knew that, but like just seeing that what happened on Raw, man, he was attacking when Drew was attacking CM Punk like that was just like, damn, man. But I said to myself, had a grin on my face, and you know what those words are? I said to myself, Kurt,
Hell in a Cell.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're just waiting. Adam Pearce, you better make that announcement soon as possible. So I'm waiting. Oh, I'm waiting.
Yeah, it's going down, especially after this angle. Yeah, they're definitely doing Hell in a Cell.
The last final encounter, Kurt.
Yeah, but I like what they did on Monday with this scenario because the whole bracelet thing was kind of starting to get old, so they needed to do something to spice it up, and this was perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is just personal. It's not about the bracelet anymore. This is about just Drew's hatred for CM Punk now, and now you got to take it to a whole nother level, which will be Hell in a Cell, which we're waiting to announce it hopefully next week on Raw. But yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I predicted for months, even before CM Punk and Drew McIntyre had their first match at SummerSlam. I predicted this. I love this, and Bad Blood is the perfect place to do it at. I cannot wait.
Yes, but we still have another month or so until Bad Blood. And also, from what we saw on Raw Monday, we have an idea of who Gunther's next challenger is going to be. And it's seeming like that new challenger for his title is going to be Sami Zayn, who came out to confront him and challenge him for the championship, considering that Sami Zayn was the one who dethroned Gunther of the IC title at WrestleMania. But Gunther, to no surprise, said no to Sami Zayn's challenge.
But I think Sami Zayn did get the last word in that segment, though. I love that segment between both of them because it was all about him. He wants to get a title shot, but hey, I was the one who ended your Intercontinental title reign at WrestleMania of all places. So yeah, he is deserving to get a title shot, and I loved it.
Yeah, so it's looking like it's going to happen. Obviously, Gunther initially rejecting the challenge is all about progressing the story further. So definitely we're going to be having this match at Bad Blood, goes without saying.
Oh, yeah.
And also it's looking like at Bad Blood, we're going to see the further development of this whole Judgment Day against Terror Twin storyline, as there was one point in the beginning of this show on Raw where Liv Morgan got Rhea Ripley trapped into the ropes, and then Rhea Ripley started attacking her leg, and that forced Rhea Ripley to be helped to the back, and her leg was all messed up. And that would lead to a tag match at the end of the show between the tag champions of Finn Balor and JD McDonough, who barely defended the title since they won it, against Damian Priest and also Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And there was one point where Judgment Day did have the advantage, but then Rhea Ripley came out like on a crutch, and then Liv Morgan was coming up to her, acting like she was going to take advantage of her because Rhea Ripley was hurt. But come to find out, Rhea Ripley was playing her ass the whole time. Rhea Ripley was not hurt. She dropped the crutch down to show that she was fine, and she beat the hell out of Liv Morgan.
Oof. This is going to set up a rematch between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for the women's world title, and Damian Priest is finally going to get his hands on Finn Balor one on one.
I think it's going to be Liv and Rhea Ripley at Bad Blood for sure. As far as Damian and Finn Balor,
Yeah.
I think they're probably going to hold off on that a little longer.
Oh,
because they can only do 6 matches with this show, and I feel like they already have already 3 so far with the Hell in a Cell, the title match, the women's title match, and then whatever is on SmackDown. So that's probably going to be like another 3. So I feel like Damian and Finn's probably going to be bumped to like another show.
Okay, well, I don't know, man, because they kind of, Finn Balor's has been playing cat and mouse with Damian Priest for a while now, so it's kind of like almost been a month now, so it's like when it's going to happen, so.
Yeah, but one person who we won't be seeing on Raw anymore is one Odyssey Jones. As Monday, he was removed from WWE's internal roster, which sounded kind of strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a few days later, it came out that there was these domestic violence allegations against him that WWE just found out about. And this one person online put up a whole story about an incident with Odyssey Jones over the summer where he really abused her. He was really fucked her up badly, and it's come to the point where WWE has decided to release Odyssey Jones, which actually came out Wednesday. So this whole storyline with the New Day that they were doing where Odyssey Jones was kind of coming in between them, looks like that shit is now dropped. Yeah, it's now dropped.
Scrapped.
Damn, bro. Talk about your bad timing. Talk about your bad fucking timing, son.
Very bad timing. You come in to, you got to make a good debut, and you're in a storyline already, and this happens, man. It sucks. But at the same time, it's like the hand was dealt with WWE. I think any organization in that situation would have done the same thing, but it is a damn shame. And look, I know people make mistakes though, but man, you got to be more careful these days, man. And I do feel bad for him in his situation. You gotta, you had a golden opportunity and this happens, but hey, I mean, what else could you do?
Yeah, you can't be hitting on women like that, and you can't be doing that kind of bullshit and thinking that the company would eventually find out about it. Like Enzo Amore had that incident a couple years ago where he had a rape accusation, and then it came out the day of the Raw 25-year anniversary show. So that was the worst fucking timing for that shit to come out, and it made the company really look bad. And yeah, they ended up releasing him because of that. And he didn't really do anything. It came out that he didn't do anything, but the fact was that he hid the allegation from them.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's fucked up timing. It's definitely thrown a monkey wrench into whatever plans they had for, Kofi and Xavier Woods. But if he's doing that kind of bullshit and he's been doing it for a long time and getting away with it, he deserves to be punished.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, but not enough information has come out since, but I'm sure more will come out soon enough. And whenever it does, we'll definitely break it down for you.
Yeah. That's why we're doing this show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, but one person who will be on Raw this coming Monday from Calgary, I can't wait for this. The legend, the icon, the GOAT, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, I found out on Twitter that he will be making an appearance on Raw since it's in Calgary. And I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, he hasn't been on Raw in a while. Good shit. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
That is true. He hasn't been on there in a while.
Also, the trailer dropped for the Vince McMahon Netflix docuseries yesterday.
Yes.
And yeah, this shit's going to be juicy. This shit is going to be juicy.
It is. If you think that all these other celebrity, documentaries were juicy, this one takes the cake, especially if you're a wrestling fan. I can't wait for this one. I thought they was going to go through with this, but no, they are going to go through with it, ladies and gentlemen, because September 25th on Netflix, just like Kurt said, the rise and fall of Vince McMahon. And despite whatever personal reasons you have with him, at the end of the day, he's probably the biggest influencers of all of professional wrestling. We need to hear about his story. More importantly, you even told me this earlier, Kurt, how, you're looking forward to what the other wrestlers are going to say in their interviews about this man. That's what I'm looking forward as well.
And according to Conrad Thompson, he said that the whole piece is like a certified burial of Vince. Kind of like the self
Ooh,
destruction of Ultimate Warrior DVD was for Ultimate Warrior. That's basically what this
yeah.
is going to be from what he said.
Oh man, is this going to be like a one full on, like film, or is this like separated into parts?
It's a 6-part series. It's kind of like the Surviving R. Kelly shit.
Right, right, right. Like how most documentaries are, in parts. So yeah, I was just wondering. Man, six.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, that's enough though, but it's a lot to cover. But it is definitely enough and a lot to get into and to dive into.
yeah, but regardless of what you think about Vince, that story is definitely one that should be watched. And I will say, like I've said before, and I'll say again, my thing with the whole Vince thing is you can still acknowledge the good things that he did, all the
Mhm.
big things he did for wrestling, for making wrestling as big as it is. But you also have to acknowledge the grimy ass shit that he did and the evil ass shit that he did. Both are a part of his legacy. Regardless of whether you are a fan of his or not a fan of his, you can't ignore either one.
No, you can't. Like I said, you can't. I mean, nobody will. But at the same time, I mean, in the business side of things, like I said earlier, he's like one of the biggest influencers, like the just words can't describe of how much of a, just how much, influence this dude was in professional wrestling. You know what I mean? And this was his dad's company, man. Like from the territorial days up until now, he's the reason why this company is big as it is now.
Yeah, whether you like him or not, you have to acknowledge
Yeah.
that he's the reason why many of us became fans. But unfortunately, over the last 20 years, he's been the reason why a lot of us stopped being fans and also found it challenging to stay fans. And he definitely deserves
Hmm.
flack for that too. But we'll get more into the Vince thing as it comes closer to it coming out and when it does come out. But speaking of polarizing figures in wrestling, Hulk Hogan was on the douchebag fuck Logan Paul's podcast recently, and he basically compared like the fans like forgiving him and the fans giving him another chance to the Chris Benoit situation. And basically what he said was that if the fans can forgive Chris Benoit, fans are so forgiving. Fans have forgiven me. Fans have taken me back. If they can forgive Chris Benoit, basically what he said, then they can forgive me too.
Why is he comparing that situation to Chris Benoit?
And also, why does he think fans have forgiven Chris Benoit? Just because maybe some of us still watch his matches and acknowledge certain moments he had, that doesn't mean we forgive him or think that he didn't do what he did or that we don't acknowledge that he did what he did. Nah, just because we talk about somebody, that does not mean we forgave them.
There is no comparison to just the fact that he brought it up and made a comparison. It was just weird because you got to remember, dude, Chris Benoit murdered his own wife and his kid. It was a double murder suicide. I don't see the comparison in that. I thought that's just a little that's way off.
He's trying to compare it to like how like the fans are forgiving him for making the mistakes that he's made, specifically probably the racist rant that he went on. So he was like kind
No,
of like saying
still
in
no
that sense, like
comparison.
if fans can
Still,
forgive Chris Benoit, yeah, nobody was fucking with Hogan for what he said in this situation. Nobody in their right mind, at least. Yeah, it's just another example of just Hogan just making a dumbass of himself and putting his foot in his mouth. And he even said in that same interview that while he was in WCW, he never once used his creative control clause.
that's a lie. The lie detector says
Yeah,
that is a
sure.
lie.
Sure, Nick Cannon and Madonna are virgins.
Yeah, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier. There is no comparison to Chris Benoit. I just thought it was weird because, for one, when the whole allegations came about of Benoit, WWE just removed pretty much everything because all its accomplishments and everything from WWE, right? They didn't do that with Hogan, with the whole racial allegations and all that. It's not like they, you know, oh, him beating Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 really didn't take place and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So there is no comparison. I thought that was just weird and an odd thing to say.
Yeah, he's just like really getting on that whole Trump Fox News bandwagon now, just saying the most outlandish, dumbest shit. I guess maybe in a way to get reactions out of people. But yo, I just hear this dude talk and just hear the dumb things he says, and I'm like, this shit is embarrassing. And I just look at him and I say, yo, I used to be a fan of your ass, your old dumbass. There's probably
Yeah.
nobody prouder I am of making a rap diss to. I should write another one about Hogan. Maybe I will, but it is what it is. Before we get out of here, though, I just wanted to mention that Victoria actually recently announced that she signed a new deal with WWE, kind of like
Yes.
a merchandising deal.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's like a Legends deal, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, and also Jacqueline just signed a Legends deal with WWE too.
Oh, I didn't know that either. I just heard about Victoria though, but that's I haven't heard from Jacqueline in a long time. Wow.
Yeah, and also it came out according to TMZ that Nikki Bella is looking to divorce her husband. Makes sense.
Oh,
Makes
oh,
sense.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got arrested last week for the domestic violence incident, and yeah, from what it's coming out now, it's looking like she's going to divorce him. And I know this isn't probably a big deal, but apparently Brian Danielson unfollowed him on social media too. Yeah, you can't be fucking around like that, man. Yeah, especially when you have a kid with the lady
Oh
too, and
yeah.
you're married. Yeah, that's a major no no. Yeah, and she has every right to want to leave him.
Oh yeah.
And also, WWE is about to make a big announcement about a live primetime special on NBC, and it's looking like more than likely that announcement is going to be the return of Saturday night's main events.
Ooh, please bring it back. If it's true, please. Oh my God. Kurt, it's been a long time since we had a Saturday night main event on NBC. When was the last time?
2008.
Wow.
I wasn't even watching the time, but I just saw that 2008 was the last time we had
Ooh.
one.
I mean, I don't well, I mean I was though, but at the same time, I don't think I did watch that episode. I think the last episode I watched was 2007.
The only one I ever watched from the ones they brought back, like in 2006 going on, was that first one in 2006, right before WrestleMania. The one with the Shawn and Shane
Yeah.
match, and also
Shane McMahon, yeah.
and that's where like Mickey James officially turned on Trish. Yeah, that was the last one I watched. Actually, the only one I ever
Yeah.
watched, really, like live at least.
Yeah, I think that's my all-time favorite one, and also as you know, JBL and Stone Cold had a beer drinking contest that night. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
they
that's my
did.
all-time favorite episode. I did like the episode they had the following, later that year, and then the next year was like, meh. But if it's true, they bring it back, that would be amazing. I love it.
Yes. A lot of things to love about wrestling these days, and that's why we're here to talk about it, break it down for you, the good, the bad, ugly, and everything in between. But I got to get out of here, actually. John, great chopping it up with you as always. So until next time, for John
Yes,
Randall, this is Conscious Kurt for another edition of the Clash of the Champions. Take care. Have a good weekend. And remember, don't be an asshole and a douchebag in real life or social media because that bullshit is for the birds.
and ladies and gentlemen, as I always say before you leave, take care, God bless, and always be cool.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Take care.